Dr. Steve Pieczenik, and this is Steve Talks. I've been on the video for a long time, and the reason for that is that I wanted to spend some time to assess what Donald Trump and his team has done. For the most part, I'm not very impressed. Unfortunately, the first and most important part of the plan and reorganization of the federal government was to downsize both the Pentagon and the intelligence community. For the most part, the Pentagon is completely bloated. It has about $600 billion in costs, and probably even more than that, off the books. It has gone into wars that were unnecessary and still continues to increase the size of our military at a pace which is not sustainable. We are now in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, all points south in Africa. We do not need to be there. The reason that General Mattis was appointed and the reason General Flynn, McMaster, and other generals were appointed was not to continue an unnecessary war. They were appointed for the simple fact that they could say to a civilian, be it even Trump, we will not increase the manpower that we need in order to fight a war. The reason for that is very simple, and we are in wars that do not lend themselves to being winnable. What do I mean by that? That means that we have created our very own enemy, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Al-Haqna, all the other groups around the world. There is no such thing as a war on terror. There is a war against an opponent, but for the most part, we, the CIA, and many other intelligence units had created those opponents. When a general says that we're going to increase the manpower in order to intensify the firepower, that is not a strategy. That is basically a tactic which has never worked since World War II. There are reasons why we have lost wars in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and so forth and so on. And the reason is because we have had a major dereliction of duty among our generals, including the ones who are there right now. McMaster wrote a brilliant book called Dereliction of Duty. What he meant was that most of the generals during the Vietnam War were primarily concerned about their careers and not about the end point of stating that it was not possible to win the war in Vietnam. The exact same situation is occurring now. We have had a 15-year war in Afghanistan. We have had a 15-year war in Iraq. We have been more than 5 years in Northern Africa. We are in Eritrea, we're in Ethiopia, we're in Djibouti, we're in Sudan, Somalia, absolutely unnecessary. So the increase of $58 billion to increase our force structure was completely unnecessary. We have 888 generals and admirals. They have to be cut in half. In order to increase our capability at the lower levels, we will have to get rid of at least 400 to 500 general and admirals who do not serve the purpose for our force structure. The second part is you do not need to increase the monies in the Pentagon. It's the other way around. You're going to have to decrease it. You're going to have to get rid of programs like the F-35 fighter jet and littoral ships and a whole lot of nonsense which relates to the Navy, when in fact the Navy has 20 senior officers who are being indicted for prostitution and for corruption. The second part of this issue, it has to do with the intelligence community. There should never have been an appointment to the DNI, Director for National Intelligence. That was an organization that was created after the false flag and stand down of 9/11, created by, as all of you know, Cheney and Bush. We do not need another organization on top of 16 non-useful intelligence units splayed across our bureaucracy. We need to cut that in half. That's billions of other dollars. So, Mr. Trump, what I'm saying to you today is you're going to have to start reenacting The Apprentice, where you start saying you're fired, not you're going to get increased monies. And if you start doing that and start firing the unnecessary cannon fodder we have, then we can have a new America. Thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. America. Hi, this is Dr. Steve Pieczenik. This is Steve Talks.